Hello everyone, Venris here, and today we'll be talking about the Norsca update for the Slave Masters SFO GRIMHAMMER mod that is being released this Friday. And if you're an SFO mod team Patreon, you have an access to the changelog right now, seeing all the changes that I will be talking here, showing, and so on. And let's hop to the video. We will be talking about Wulfrik first. As we're playing Wulfrik right now, it's only for the showcase. I will be showing you the new dilemma that maybe you remember from the previous SFO versions, because Norsca had it. We have very important thing that allows overall Norscans to trade with slaves, because they are slavers, they are slave masters, and every 30 turns, starting from turn 5, no, this is turn 1, because, you know, I'm cheating, you will be able to get a new dilemma that have trading depending with specific factions. For example, with the Dark Elves, you get the specific bonuses, Ogres, Chaos Gods, Chaos Dwarves, Warriors of Chaos and Norscans, trade with Skaven or Beastmen. Let's go with the Dark Elves, and when we do it, we not only get the bonus for 2 turns, but we can extend this bonus to 10 turns, get an item also, if we do the mission in the 10 times turn. So this is like a new set of missions that all the Norscans will be getting, to, you know, better emphasize that they are slavers overall. But let's get back to Wulfrik. Let's just close those notifications. And Wulfrik is getting some changes, but different than you can expect. Because in previous versions of SFO, I made a video about that even, before the Tides of Torment, we had something like a plunder. Plunder was a resource that, let's say, is like a grandfather of spoils that Creative Assembly added. The plunder was a resource that actually worked almost the same like spoils actually, and we decided to not remove the whole system because we were really happy with it, and just make it Wulfrik unique, specific faction. Why? Because Wulfrik did not got a lot of changes in vanilla, which is a big shame. Frog, for example, is way better, and the Seafang ability that allows him to travel through the ports is a fantastic thing, but we wanted more. That's why we will have several new things for Wulfrik. But before that, let's go to the settlement. We need to take the first settlement, and I will show you the new additions for Norscans overall. So Norscans in SFO work quite differently than the Norscans for the vanilla. That was again linking with the changes that we had previously in SFO, and we merged the new changes with all changes of SFO. So first of all the human units for Norscans are recruitable only in the main chains. They are not recruited in the other buildings, yes? They are only in the main chains, and the buildings that normally recruit them, so the Marauders one and the horses chains, are now only for supporting, yes? So they give some faction-wide and province-wide strong bonuses, and their cost is increasing with every building that you have, yes? So they work like a military support. Looking on the buildings here as we are playing Wulfrik, you can see the new frames on some of the buildings. All buildings will be getting in SFO frames like that, indicating for you this is a unique building. This is a building for your faction specifically. And for Wulfrik, we have the arenas, so a very potent building for the provinces, and also the chaos symbols, again, and nice buildings with faction-wide effects. And those buildings are Wulfrik specific only. And thanks to those nice frames that you can see here, there you will know, okay, so this is for my faction only, yes, and I'm playing SFO. Besides that, of course, there were a lot of changes small to the effects of the buildings and so on. We really like the effect with the spoils. We just extended them a bit here and there, but the biggest change when you were playing Norsca is that all the human units are on the main chains. Let's go to God's Gifts. God's Gifts is a new panel for Norsca. God damn it, what is happening with this notification? Is not for Norsca, but for Wulfrik specifically. This is getting back from Warhammer 2, because normally we had the unique technologies for Wulfrik, but I think it will be a bloat right now, so we are reusing the panel, and this is where Plunder will be used for Mr. Wulfrik. And we have a lot of tabs. Some of the tabs will be giving you permanent bonuses for a specific lords. We are linking some of the cool effects from the previous SFO. For example, armor piercing melee damage for Wulfrik is increased by 10 for every defeated legendary lord. If we're playing Wulfrik and have this effect, his melee defense is increasing and so on. So this is linking a bit with the system from Warhammer 2 we had, that killing specific legendary lords was giving specific bonuses to Wulfrik, and this is how it is working here. We also have some really hefty bonuses for all the Norscans. For example, you can make the Marauder Hunter's range increased by a lot, you can increase the experience for Mammoth, you can make that all the skin wolves have a stalk permanently, and so on. We also have the tribes. Again, a lot of cool small bonuses here and there. And the last one is the Dark Gods. The Dark Gods are a duration one, so they are for 10 turns, works only when you are in an enemy territory, and give you, yes, mono gods army abilities without restriction, meaning that you don't need to kill a specific amount of units in the battle to get them, you just get them. And they are one army ability from every Chaos monogod faction. Yes, so again, linking with this ever-chosen theme that we have for Wulfrik. But yeah, there are a lot of other small changes to the campaign, but I will just leave those for you to explore when the update goes live on this Friday. And let's just check the battle changes, because we have quite few interesting changes there. So there are the biggest changes for the Norscan in battles, is that we totally changed the bearmen and also changed the Kurgan horsemen. So with the Marauder bearmen, there is transformation right now. I made a video about that, there was a short also, and the transformation is that when the unit, it's very specific, we made it a bit more specific, that unit leadership cannot be lower than 50%, health cannot be lower than 50%, but it has to be lower than 75%. Yeah, it's very specific, but the unit is also extremely strong, yes? And it changes the unit into a different unit with less entities, and you will ask, what about the campaign? Yes, so those entities that are not being transformed die in the process, so the unit becomes very wounded in the campaign. But because of that, we made that this unit specifically can always replenish in the campaign, and its replenishment is higher, so it is working more or less. Of course, the unit is also legendary right now. To get it normally in the campaign, you need to do the quest battles for every legendary lord, and then you will be able to recruit those units. So the bearmen are way more unique as a unit, I hope more interesting, and so on. Other change that we have is the Kurgan horsemen and also the Kurgan horsemen champions. Yes, we changed that, so the normal Kurgans that have double access are now, let's say, normal unit, but the horsemen champions, they were previously big weapons, are now different. They have a bit more interesting axes and the armors, and also they have two new stances. Yes, you can make that they have more leadership, but they cause bleed, or you make that they have cavalry bane and they have charge bonus increase. So this is again quite interesting stuff, and this is more on the par of the champions. This is tier 5 unit, and we didn't want it to just make them different uses, because Norscan already has a lot of horsemen. Yes, so normal horsemen, I think, in my opinion, are just better in that way, and the Kurgan horsemen champions are this high tier unit. It's still very glass cannon unit, but I think it's working nicely. Let's go with the transformation. Okay, we cannot go with the transformation. We need to get them wounded first. Okay, we finally got them a bit wounded. Let's use the transformation. I don't know what's with the UI today. The transformation is a bit wonky, but it's working. Yeah, important thing is it's working. This unit is very powerful. Yes, it has a fellow rage, so it gets rampage, but it's very powerful as a unit. You normally usually need to make a transformation in middle of the combat, and they will get some damage because of it. They're fighting against anti-large units, so it's a bit different right now, but they are very powerful. They having a lot of damage. They remove the immune to psychology from enemies. They have a terror on itself. They have a charge reflection, woundsman, glorious charge, and vigorous, so they will be getting vigor very fast. Yeah, that was the worst possible transformation because I went them against anti-large unit, but when you do them normally against infantry unit, yeah, they can just smash the unit. So this transformation is like a last resort for the unit to use, and I think it's a very unique mechanic for the Norscans. So yeah, this is more or less the most important, let's say, changes for the Norscans. Of course, there are way more smaller changes in the changelog that I highly encourage you to check if you're an SFO mod team patron. Of course, supporting the mod also help us to make this free addition for all of you in a timely manner. So thank you everyone for watching. Leave the comment please if you like the video, or like it, share it, and I was Venris and I'm out. And again, I don't have any punchline for the Norscan, so see ya.